Hey everyone, it's Tristen Selman with Serenity Impact again. Today we have I would say, special lesson. It's still very important like all the rest, but this one I feel more certain about it. So this is lesson number 2, and this will be stereotyping. So we want to start off by asking, what is stereotyping? Well, stereotyping is to judge or label people based on appearance or just a rumor. You could kind of coincide it with gossip, honestly. And they usually consist of, people's traits, their abilities, their different interests, obviously, physical characteristics, and then also just things that you would expect to see people do. So there are different types of stereotypes. The first one I'm starting off with is a racial stereotype. Now, before I get to this picture, I do ask that everyone have some kind of regard about themselves and not, completely wig out about this. But for me personally, this one actually it hits a little bit home. When I was younger growing up, a lot of people always said that black people love chicken, or specifically fried chicken. And for me, as a young man, when I heard those kind of things, it made me basically not want to eat chicken because there was a stereotype put out there about all people, and I didn't want to fit the box. All right. The second one we have is a gender stereotype. All right. And no different, I'm sure for this stereotype, there are, a lot of women in the world who this affects because, people talk so down about how women drive when in fact there are plenty of excellent drivers that are women. Okay. We also have addiction and drug user stereotypes. All right. So different, things that people say about, people who are addicted is that they're addicted to drugs, when addiction doesn't just simply stop with drugs. Okay, when you hear that word, a lot of people like to put those two together, but that's not at all. They automatically assume that someone's abusing something, or that there is physical illnesses and stuff that are attached to just addiction. The next one is going to be drug users in general. A lot of people would like to just say that all drug users are scum, all drug users are losers, just a lot of negative terms. And guys, stereotypes, they are, I guess you could say, a natural or a normal occurrence, but it doesn't make them okay. And it definitely doesn't make people feel okay. It doesn't make people feel good. A lot of times, stereotypes are offensive. They hurt. And a lot of times, these are also just assumptions. There's nothing valid about it. There's nothing factual about it. It's just, hey, I saw someone in the hallway, let me go gossip to Sally over here about what I think. And that's what I was saying earlier, guys, is that stereotyping fits in the box with gossip. It kind of all falls down a trail. All right, so some questions I want you to ask yourself. All right, in what ways do you stereotype other people? Because the reality of it is, myself included, we all do this. Our brains want to, I guess you could say, minimize or try to put everything in categories. And sometimes these categories happen to be stereotypes. All right. So let's be honest. What ways do we stereotype other people? And then also, how do stereotypes harm people? You can take that from a personal level and just think about the things that you've had to endure, or that you've felt, or you can take it in more of an outward look. And, I want to say that stereotypes harm people by, instilling hatred. All right. And sometimes that hatred leads to unfair treatment. And that brings about our next point. All right. So these stereotypes kind of fall hand in hand with words like prejudice. All right. Which is an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand or without knowledge or reason. All right. So it's just, you saw someone again, you just made some completely random assumption about them. Somebody could have came to school and you're like looking at their shoes. You're like, dude, why are your shoes talking? All right. And, that's messed up. But little did you know that person, just had to run from a stray dog down the street and, tripped or something. Their shoe ripped. We don't know, but we just made some kind of assumption and decided to talk mess about it, or decided to gossip about it. All right. The next one that falls hand in hand is discrimination. It's usually followed up right after. Discrimination, the unjust or prejudice treatment of different categories of people based on gender, race, sex. All right. And guys, I really want you to think about, how those things affect you personally. And, you might be one of those people who it doesn't affect and you just go on about your day as if, nothing ever happened. But if that's the case, I'm talking to those it does affect. All right. I'm talking to those who are conscious of what they do towards and out with other people. And then also just how it hits home for them. All right. So what are some common stereotypes that people have? All right. When it comes to these categories, guys, I've heard just about everything between my classes. And, a lot of times I hear that men are players. I hear that men are no good. Men are, I guess you could say, senseless. Or, I'll even go as far as to say that some people say men are just dogs. It's a whole group of people that we're just boxing in with these simple stereotypes based off of our own either just assumptions or ideals that we hear from other people. And then for women, I hear that women are too soft, or as we said earlier, women are bad drivers, or that women are too emotional. And again, guys, there's so much more deeper understanding that we're not allowing ourselves to have because we're trying to fit everyone in this little box. And that's not overall being open-minded either. So an example also would be about cats and dogs. Okay, so a lot of people say that cats don't, really change their expressions and they're kind of jerks. That's what I hear a lot. And in this picture, you can see a dog has every expression between sad all the way to excited, and the cat is just all the way across. There's no change, there's no love. You just see this blatant face all the way across. So this brings me into my next part of the segment, and that'll be self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, what is a self-fulfilling prophecy? I got you. All right. What becoming what other people expect of you by believing the things that they say about you or how they judge you. An example, that I could give would be somebody in your life telling you that you're not going to be anything. And I hear this time to time again within, the youth that I'm allowed to work with. First off, I just want to say this. You don't buy into that. You don't believe that, because everybody on the other side of this camera or on the other side of this screen is very capable of doing anything that they set their minds out to do. I don't have to know you to believe that, okay? So don't allow nobody to tell you that. But that's a common thing that I hear a lot, is that people are getting told that they're not going to be anything in their life. And what happens when we hear those things? And you keep hearing those things, especially from people that you love or that you trust. Eventually, we buy into it. And that's how we fall victim to a self-fulfilling prophecy. All right. So what is the harm in believing stereotypes that attack you? They become self-defeating. And people who are defeated from within, are they looking to achieve anything in their life? Are they looking to do much? No, because they've already lost a battle inside, so there's not much else to do out there. Okay? One thing before I move on to this next slide, which is going to be a video about self-defeating, is that, I also want you guys to be aware that I know, when I was in high school, there was a lot of talk that pretty much a lot of people or a lot of high schoolers all, used drugs, or a lot of people all smoked weed or did whatever. And a lot of us just kind of like, okay, well, yeah, that's probably true. We just go with it. But what you don't realize is something as simple as that, when you agree to it or just go along with it, you're stereotyping yourself as well. You're a part of that population that is being talked about. Okay? So this next slide is just something a little bit fun for self-defeating. So I want you guys to, when you're watching this, as goofy as it is and as childish as it is, I want you to also just think about, this is what you're doing to you on the inside when we buy into these self-fulfilling prophecies, all right?
Oh, yeah? No, please wait! No, please, have mercy!
So that video is pretty goofy, right? But seriously, guys, this affects a lot of people. Whether we're one of those people who want to talk about those things or we're one of those people who just harbor it inside, this is a reality that a lot of us are faced with. So here's the big question. Okay, well, you've led me off to this cliff and you've shown me that this is the situation, but where's the fix? How do we come back from this? All right. How do we undo this process? All right, guys. Well, as complicated and yet simple as what I'm about to say is the answer. You choose not to believe in them. Just like, earlier when I was talking about people telling you that you're not going to be anything in your life, it has to be a choice. You have to choose to rise above the occasion. You have to choose to take that next step and go beyond what the stakes other people are setting for you. All right? You can't allow yourself to give up. You can't allow yourself to give into these things. I know a lot of us, love music. A lot of us love sports. A lot of us love television and media of all different platforms. And what I find quite consistently amongst a lot of celebrities or people who, that we all know as big people in this world, one trait that a lot of these people share in common is perseverance. No matter what gets thrown their way, they always come back. No matter what happens, they always get up. They never just stop where they're at. They always keep pushing past. There was a time where Beyonce was on the set and she stayed up for 3 days straight. She had forgot that she hadn't eaten or sleep. A lot of other people obviously would have definitely done that. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I am saying that when you're determined, you always push through the hard times. All right. Now I got this another short clip that I'm going to show you guys that goes in right in with this. All right.
But what I've come to appreciate when you're working on changing your life, changing some bad habit, getting out of addictive situations or relationships, or working to build a dream or making a difference in our society, it's hard. Easy is not an option. It's hard living. Life is hard. That's rough. How people look at you, how they respond to you. It's very hard. But you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. So if it's hard, then do it hard. Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times, Les? You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. It's possible that we can have our dream. Yes, it is. Other people have done it, then we can do it. We fail a lot of times. Well, a lot of other folks fail, and eventually they came back and they succeeded. So it's possible we can have what we want. And we know that we want to get it. It's necessary that we align ourselves with people that think like we do. It's necessary we get negative, do-nothing people out of our lives. It's necessary we never stop learning and growing and developing ourselves. It's necessary that we never give up. Never give up. Never give up.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
A friend of mine he runs a marathon. He says, when he's running the 26-mile marathon, he said, let's say that hypothetically, that 18th mile is the wall. He said, Les, when you get there and you're running, he says, everything in you is telling you to stop, to give up. Every muscle is aching. And you're saying to yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you just keep on and you keep on and you keep on. It seems like you're moving at slow motion. And then eventually when you break through that 18-mile wall, then you know it's like done and you're on automatic and you glide on in. And you know it's there. You know you're going to get to the finish line. And we've all had experiences where we were working on something and we knew it was possible. And we did those things that were necessary to bring it into reality. We took the responsibility to make it happen. Other people couldn't see it. A lot of people didn't believe it. You were attacked. You were criticized. People were opposing you, but you kept on doing it. It was hard. It was rough. It was difficult. But to you, it was worth it. And eventually you got to a level you know, can nothing stop me now. I'm on the move. I'm on the move.
Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Well, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. That's actually a clip from one of my personal favorite motivational videos that I listen to. But guys, in essence, to sum all this up, for one, stereotypes are not helpful. They usually do more harm than they do honestly help people. And then also, I just want to remind you guys again, don't allow people to judge you and that be your reality. Don't allow it to defeat you. You are capable and you have the power to do anything that you set your mind to, all right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in with me, and I'll see you guys next week on Friday. All right, bye.